Hello, friends. How's everybody doing? Hello, 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 everywhere, wherever you are. How are you? And welcome. My name is Aura Vasquez, and I am a candidate for Los Angeles City Council District 10. And I had the idea of bringing live streams to you, to your phone, or to your computer, or to wherever you are, or to your laptop. And this with the effort of making sure that you're getting a little more information about my race, and also that you are being informed about issues that are really pressing and important for us in our district and in our beautiful city of Angels. So in the recent days, there has been a lot of talk about our homeless community, and the latest homelessness count has released that in LA we have more unhoused folks than ever before, despite the fact that we are really making more efforts to make sure that our unhoused community have resources. So why is that happening? And I think this is impossible to talk about our unsheltered community without talking about housing and our current affordability in housing. So today we're going to have a candid conversation about that, and I hope you can join us. You can post messages on social media. I believe I'm in Twitter, on YouTube right now, on YouTube Live, also on my Facebook page. So welcome if you're just joining in. You can also join me here on Instagram, which is a little more complicated to get the full scope of a live stream. But I am very, 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 very honored and excited to share the stage today and to share this conversation with somebody that came very highly recommended to me to speak about this topic, because, you know, we don't all sometimes see eye to eye about, you know, the things that we want to see in our city. And different schools of thoughts also have different ideas. So I wanted to bring a much more balanced approach about what we're going to discuss today. So this is why I'm very, very excited to be here joining by, and let me bring her in right now, joining by Professor Roy.
Everyone. Thank you. I'm so very thrilled to be here. As you've all already heard, I'm a professor of urban planning and social welfare at the University of California, Los Angeles. And I also have the great privilege of serving as the founding director of the Institute on Inequality and Democracy. We do a lot of work here in Los Angeles, as well in cities around the world, and quite a bit of our focus is on housing justice. So we think about houselessness and housing precarity and displacement and evictions, but we also think very much with social movements and community organizations about the kinds of changes that are needed to provide housing security to the many diverse social groups that reside in cities such as Los Angeles. So I've been doing this work, I feel, all of my adult life. I grew up in the city of Kolkata in India, a city with very high levels of poverty and inequality. So my entire academic career has had a determined focus on questions of poverty and inequality in cities. I was at the University of California, Berkeley for a long time. And of course, while I was there, the Bay Area was rapidly transforming. The city I lived in, Oakland, has seen massive gentrification and displacement. I moved to Los Angeles 4 years ago to establish this institute at UCLA. And I think there is so much that I've learned from LA, and I've gotten so passionate about the city. But I think LA also presents the challenges of what houselessness and housing precarity looks like amidst tremendous wealth and prosperity. Yes, so the idea of gentrification is understood in many ways. So in the simplest sense, we can think about gentrification as the improvement of a neighborhood, as the increase of certain kinds of assets, be they parks, be they new types of housing, and the ways in which that neighborhood improvement translates into rising property values. Be that in the rising value of homes that are owned, or be it in rising rents. But the key to gentrification in the long sort of trajectory of urban studies scholarship is that gentrification involves displacement. That gentrification involves the pushing out of those who are not necessarily well off, but for whom that neighborhood has been home and community. So if we are to think about gentrification, we have to think about why these two things have come to be coupled: neighborhood improvement and displacement, and how we can think about forms of neighborhood improvement, better schools, better parks, better environmental amenities, without the displacement of those who have called that place home for a long time. Yeah, that's a really important question. It goes to the heart of what my discipline and profession is about, urban planning. I mean, these are the questions we think about every day. And I would say that we have to first ask, why is it that these neighborhoods and communities came to be food deserts? Why did they come to have redlining such that families living in those neighborhoods were denied access to home ownership? Why is it that these are the neighborhoods in which there was the siting of toxic facilities, such that these neighborhoods have high levels of pollution and other environmental toxins? And once we begin to think about this, we can realize that these are neighborhoods that face systematic disinvestment. And because they face systematic disinvestment, when there is investment, we've got to think about what form that takes. And often the form that takes is one that leads to displacement, but it need not be that way. Mm-hmm. We can think about anti-gentrification, anti-displacement measures that go along with increased investment in neighborhoods and with neighborhood improvement.
I know, and I love that you're giving me hope, because as someone that is very rooted on a sustainability ethos and values, I really feel that actually the most investments that there should be in our city is in the areas where we have the least, where there's more food desert, right, where there is less open space, where there is less trees, because at the end of the day, the lack of those things really affect our pockets. So, the fact that in so many, and I can talk about in District 10, I can think about a few neighborhoods that are that have a lot of houses that maybe are older, that need more upgrade to become energy efficient, so that the residents pay less money, because then we're using the AC more, or the air conditioning more, or it's less insulated. So I really appreciate you mentioning this balance that it can happen about sustainability and housing and responsible housing.
And you have to think about where public resources are being invested.
Mm-hmm.
And what are the investments in these neighborhoods? So I think in the neighborhoods that have become the front line of gentrification in LA, these are areas that have not had the benefit of significant public investment in a while. And what one of my colleagues at UCLA, Professor Kelly Vidal Hernandez, has shown, she recently won the MacArthur Genius Award for this work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm incredibly proud of that. She has this fantastic project called $1 Million Hoods,
Mm-hmm.
which looks at the LA region and looks at how the investment that has gone into these neighborhoods is a perverse investment in incarceration and human caging.
Mm-hmm.
That we've spent millions of dollars on that, but not on some of the other things that you were just talking about.
Right. So one of the things that I want to do for my district, and I think is necessary, and I want to hear ideas from you, is zoning. We're going to have to change our zoning for a couple of different reasons. From an open space standpoint, when real estate is so expensive in Los Angeles, and we don't have a lot of open space, and we don't have a lot of land that the city owns to open a park in every area, in every region of my district. How do we do responsible zoning that is not going to threaten the culture of certain neighborhoods? Like, for example, I can think of Harbor Heights, for example, in my district. West Adams, historic West Adams, is another one. Even some areas of Mid-City, like the Country Club, which sounds very, posh, but it's actually, a lot of working middle class folks in my district live there. And they're constantly come to me asking, how are we going to balance the fact that there is more people in LA, that we need more housing, that not having enough housing is costing us, is costing more. So how do we rezone in a responsible way that doesn't threaten the personality, the history, and the culture of some neighborhoods, as we mitigate the fact that we just need more housing?
So the points you raise have been at the heart of really fierce battles in California.
Yeah.
Around SB 827 and SB 50.
Yeah.
Which were put forward by Scott Wiener as a way of creating more dense housing near transit stops. And as you know, almost every housing justice group opposed those bills, and they opposed them because they felt that simply by focusing on change zoning and increasing the densification and supply of housing at transit stops, without enough anti-displacement protections, would mean that this kind of housing would only be built in neighborhoods that are already vulnerable to gentrification and displacement. In other words, it seemed unlikely that this kind of housing would be built in what I can see outside my window, just a few blocks away, which is Bel Air and Beverly Hills, right? That's not where increased housing and increased affordable housing was going to happen, but it was most likely going to happen, say, in South Central Los Angeles, where in fact there's already a great concern about displacement. So I think the question of increased housing, increasing the supply of housing, is an important point, but remember that housing markets are a very weird kind of market. They're segmented. So there can be a lot of vacancy in housing markets at the very top, and we know this. In cities like New York and Los Angeles, in the top parts of the housing market, the housing that's being sold for $100 million, there's actually a lot of vacancy. But in fact, that doesn't trickle down. So we have to think about what kinds of housing is increased where and for whom. Because in fact, the challenge is that one can build more housing, but it might not be accessible to those who are most facing overcrowding and precarity.
Absolutely. I think we see. Let me see my volume here. I think we see that a lot happening, and I was pleased to see that there was an ordinance at the LA City Council level to tax property owners that are not renting their properties. That is a thing, so that's definitely something that I am in support of, a vacancy tax. There's a lot of foreign investment happening, flooding our city. We need to make sure that they also are contributing to the solution and not to the problem.
Yes.
So I almost see this vacancy tax, actually as an incentive for them to rent. But the reality is that a lot of the new development happening in our city is not affordable to people that live in our district, for example. In my district, the regular household makes $47,000 a year. A lot of members of my community live, multi generational. They live together, so grandchildren, parents, and grandparents live together because they can afford to live on their own. The other thing is that a lot of families live on fixed income. So they are older folks.
Yeah.
And a lot of them that are renters see new development as something that is going to come and is going to kick them out of their community. So what do we say to what is real responsible development today in Los Angeles?
Yes, so I think that, for me, responsible development is development that is accountable, politically accountable, to communities that are vulnerable. And part of this means we've got to, in California, rethink what we mean by affordable housing. Because affordable housing has become a very convenient
and I want you to walk us through what affordable housing is, because I got some comments that I want to share that from folks that send me comments and questions prior to this conversation that we're having, and there's a lot of information out there. So I think just having what affordable housing is today in Los Angeles by an expert like yourself will be really helpful.
So affordable housing in the US and in the state of California has been a very limited tool to provide affordable housing, because look, you just mentioned the income levels of residents in your community, right? And if you think about that and you then think about rent burdens, we know that renters in Los Angeles are carrying some of the highest rent burdens in the country. These rent burdens are also deeply racialized, meaning African American, Latino, and Native American households have much higher rent burdens than other households, right? So people are spending huge portions of their income on rent. Rents keep rising. The gap nationally between rising rent and stagnant wages is absolutely crucial. Affordable housing is out of reach for most working class families. Plus, in LA, we don't have strict forms